Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by, and welcome to CBAK Energy Technology's third quarter of 2025 earnings conference call. Currently, all participants are in listen-only mode. Later, we will conduct a question-and-answer session, and instructions will follow at that time. As a reminder, we are recording today's call. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. Now, I will turn the call over to Etienne Tian, IR Specialist of CBAK Energy. Ms. Tian, please proceed.
Thank you, Operator, and hello everyone. Welcome to CBAK Energy's earnings conference call for the third quarter of 2025. Joining us today are Mr. Zhi Guanghu, or Jason, Chief Executive Officer of CBAK Energy, Mr. Billy Li, Chief Financial Officer and Company Secretary, and Ivan, who will help with our interpretation when joining us for the Q&A section. We released our results earlier today. The press release is available on the company's IR website at ir.cbak.com.cn, as well as from the newswire services. A replay of this call will also be available in a few hours on our IR website. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's actual results may be materially different from the expectations expressed today. Further information regarding this and other risks and uncertainties is included in the company's public filing with the SEC. The company does not assume any obligations to update any forward-looking statements except as required under the applicable laws. Also, please note that unless otherwise stated, all figures mentioned during the conference call are in US dollars. With that, let me now turn the call over to our CEO. Please go ahead, Jason.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our earnings conference call for the third quarter of 2025. Our consolidated revenue rose sharply this quarter, increasing 36.5% year-over-year to $50.9 million, compared with approximately $44.6 million in the same period last year. The strong growth was primarily driven by the recovery of Hitrans, our battery raw material segment. Since acquiring Hitrans in 2021, the segment had been weighed down by industry-wide overcapacity and a prolonged decline in raw material prices, resulting in several years of weak performance. Recently, however, we have been pleased to see clear signs of recovery. Raw material prices have rebounded steadily, driving a meaningful turnaround at Hitrans. In the third quarter alone, Hitrans generated approximately $27.2 million in revenue, representing a 143.7% increase year-over-year. With the continued recovery in the raw material market, we are confident that Hitrans team will build on this positive momentum to further expand sales and narrow losses in the coming quarters. Our battery business also began to stabilize in the third quarter after a short-term volume decline caused by our ongoing product portfolio upgrade. Revenue in this segment grew 0.7% year-over-year, effectively returning to the same level as the prior year quarter. This improvement was mainly driven by robust demand for our Model 32140 battery produced at Nanjing plant, where production capacity remains fully utilized and a significant backlog of orders persist. To address this supply shortage, we are expediting the launch of Nanjing Phase 2 facility. Although slightly delayed, we now expect mass production to begin in mid-November 2025. Compared with the 1.3 GWh capacity of Phase 1, Phase 2 will add another 2 GWh of capacity. Given the current supply-demand imbalance in the market, we anticipate this expansion will make a substantial contribution to next year's sales. In October 2025, we officially commissioned a new production line at our Dalian facility. Historically, this plant has focused on producing Model 26650 and the 26700 battery model products with nearly 2 decades of market presence. In response to evolving customer needs, we invested in a new line dedicated to manufacturing the larger, higher performance 4135 model. Over the past year, many of Dalian's customers have been conducting testing and the certification process for the model 4135, a necessary step that temporarily impacted shipment volume and contributed to a brief slowdown in the battery segment revenue growth. Early market feedback, however, has been very encouraging. Previously, the Dalian plant had 1 GWh of capacity for the Model 26 series. The new line adds an additional 2.3 GWh capacity for the Model 4135, similar to the Nanjing expansion. This upgrade is expected to become a key growth driver for 2026. Now let me turn the call to our CFO, CBAT.
Thank you, Jason. As Jason mentioned, Hitrans delivered a very solid performance this quarter, with sales increasing significantly and net loss narrowing to $2.1 million, an 18.8% improvement from $2.6 million in the same period of 2024. If this momentum continues, we believe Hitrans is on track to return to profitability in the coming quarters. Meanwhile, although our battery business reported flat year-over-year revenue, following a weaker performance last quarter, segment net income rebounded strongly, up 122.7% to $4.53 million, compared with $2.04 million a year ago. This rebound was mainly driven, as Jason noted, by robust demand for our Model 32140 batteries, which are currently in short supply. With both segments showing meaningful improvement in profitability, our consolidated net income attributable to CBAK Energy shareholders reached $2.65 million, representing a 150-fold increase year-over-year. Looking ahead, we are confident that the new 4135 production line at our Dalian facility, together with the upcoming 32140 production expansion at our Nanjing plant, will further enhance our earnings performance. Combined with the ongoing recovery of our raw materials industry, which continues to strengthen Hitrans' results, we believe that our overall performance in the coming quarters and years will deliver sustainable value for our shareholders and investors. Furthermore, we continue to pursue overseas manufacturing expansion, but progress remains contingent on updates to China's export control policies covering lithium battery materials and equipment. Until the Chinese authorities clarify or adjust these restrictions following the recent meeting between the Chinese and US presidents in Busan, we are unable to advance specific overseas projects. On the commercial side, we have signed a term sheet with one of Asia's largest publicly listed companies to jointly develop an overseas lithium battery production base. This reflects strong strategic alignment and commercial potential. However, we'd like to remind investors that policy shifts could affect our overseas plans and timelines. Should policy conditions permit, management of the company has reached a firm consensus that establishing a stable overseas production base outside China will significantly enhance our supply reliability and strengthen our position as a preferred supplier to major global customers. Thank you. We will now open the floor for the Q&A section. Operator, please go ahead.
Thank you. To ask a question, you will need to press star 1 and 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. To withdraw your question, please press star 1 and 1 again. Please stand by while we compile the Q&A queue. Our first question comes from the line of Brian Lantier from Zacks Small Cap Research. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Good evening, gentlemen. Really impressive results from the LED division. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about any particular customer concentration in that market and how sustainable you see these light electric vehicle sales going in the coming quarters.
Thank you, Brian. 首先，它对我们目前的结果是非常的受到鼓舞的。然后我们可不可以就是关于我们客户这边，关于我们客户的这个就是一些的这个concern， 然后我们的话有没有相对的一些对策，尤其是关于我们这个轻型车 LEV 这方面。
那胡总回答一下这个问题吧，尤其是关于我们的这个2轮车、3轮车的市场。
关于到时候艾文你来翻吧，我大概讲一下。是这样的，就是我们目前的2轮车现在主要就是以东南亚为主。目前呢，我们是印度的前10大品牌，我们都有在接洽，主要是其中的有几家都有我们已经在实现批量出货了。同时呢，我们现在也有接到了非洲的这个换电项目，目前我们是持续每月在给他们在供应电池组，而且我们这些合作的客户呢都是行业内的头部品牌。
Thank you. So actually for the LEV business, especially the 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers, so I think now we are developing pretty good, especially in the Southeast Asia countries. And for example, in India, for the top 10 2-wheelers OEMs, and we have all in communication with them, and some of them we have already has mass supply to them. And also, for example, in India, for the battery swapping business, we are also incorporating with one of the biggest battery swapping company in India as well. So in this industry, I think now we are developing pretty good.
Okay, great. That's really helpful. Regarding Hitrans, what do you see overall in the market regarding potential oversupply? Has demand come up to meet the supply in the industry, and should we expect more balance in the market going forward?
这位这个问题应该是你来回答吧。就是说关于海创这边，我们目前的话，我们这个海创的主要的这个供需关系，就主要是我们的供应是哪一些方面，我们未来的话会不会有这个 就是在供应上会不会有来自比如说更多的别的一些新的渠道？
Okay, Brian, let me take this question. For Hitrans, its product is always very clear. They're making NCM raw materials to a couple of the battery manufacturers. Some of them are not our competitors because we're making LFP cells. So Hitrans is exploring the market, but I don't think they're going to find some other new customers beyond the current area. So what Hitrans will do is just to keep improving the quality and the performance of their current raw material products, and along with this recovery of the whole industry, I think we can expect or anticipate a much stronger performance of Hitrans in the coming quarters.
Okay, great. And I guess just looking forward to 2026, it sounds like you could at some point have production capacity above 6 gigawatts. When do you expect that to be the case? Is it mid-year, the end of 2026? And has it become any easier to secure the necessary production equipment to, power these expansions?
下一个问题，关于明年的一些产能，因为说我们在明年的某一个阶段会达到6个吉瓦时以上，那我们预计的话，这个是在什么时候？大概是明年的年中还是年末？同时的话，关于这个，比如说这个设备的供应上，目前的话有一个怎么样的进度？
这个胡总回答。
目前我们现在设备都已经安装完毕了，目前都在处于调试，就是我们预计在11月份，大连和南京我们都会实现试产，在明年的第一季度我们应该能完成量产，所以就是明年的整个产能我们预估到年底能达到6个 G 的一个产出，而且我们的订单现在目前也是和我们的产能是相匹配的。
Yep. So currently the status is all of the equipment has already been installed in the warehouse in both Dalian and Nanjing factory. So we have already in Dalian it's already trial production, and in Nanjing it will be start trial production in this month, and we hopefully by Q1 next year then we will achieve mass production for both factories, and also in terms of all of the orders we have got. And then the 6 gigawatts hour will be achieved next year, which is in accordance with the order we have already received from the customers.
And I would like to add another point. I think in mid-November, we're going to announce that our Nanjing expansion plan is going to complete soon, and then we are preparing a video showing the latest equipment we have and the new production line for the purpose that all our investors and shareholders can have a very, very clear picture of how our factory looks like.
Great. Thank you so much. It sounds really exciting. I'll open the queue up to anyone else.
Thank you. Once again, to ask a question, you will need to press star 1 and 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. To withdraw your question, please press star 1 and 1 again. Thank you. Seeing no more questions in the queue, let me turn the call back to Jason for closing remarks.
Thank you, operator, and thank you all for participating in today's call and for your support. We appreciate for your interest and look forward to reporting to you again next quarter on our progress.
Thank you all again. This concludes the call. You may now disconnect.